Okay, so your heroes are wandering around, and as you know, there's always the classic ledge. So, just wherever they come across the ledge, you can explain it to them, and then when things get nasty, or if you surprise them with it, you just put your ledge down to the side.
Dungeons and coffee!
Greetings.
How the heck are you? Me and some Facebook pals was tossing around the idea of cliches in old adventure modules. The classic ledge that nobody sees until it's too late because someone's up there waiting to ambush them. I'm going to show the cutting method I use for my rocks and ice, and some detail that I haven't really mentioned in previous videos, just to give it more of a description. And at the same time, I'm going to make the classic ledge. This is kind of the end result that I'm going for here. And just a little quick tip on how to get that look. The trick is simply just how you angle your styrofoam. So, for instance, we'll just start this one. I'm going to slant this quite a bit for this particular piece, and I'll fluctuate that a lot. The more I fluctuate that, the more interesting and the more grooves I'll have on the end result. Okay, so as you see here, that's pretty much what you end up with. But this is just the first step in what I want to show you. Alright, so there's a piece there I can use. As you can see on the edges, once your hot wire digs into that cheap foam, then it kind of gets rid of that beady look. And this will be covered up anyway with paint or flocking or what have you. For this demonstration, I'm just going to show two steps. Step one, of course, is cutting it out. Now you can do this with a blade or with a foam cutter like I did. It's going to look a little more smooth with the foam cutter. But what makes it look so good is when you go back after the fact and do this. Whoop. Alrighty. There we go. So it doesn't take much. So just do that occasionally, not too much, don't overdo it. That does a couple things. It makes the foam really hard afterwards. And it also gives it a more worn look. So you take those clean edges. You've got some that you'll leave on there, but you'll take some of those off and it smooths them out quite a bit, which gives it a very realistic and aged look. I might have a little stream coming out of here, and as you can see, I did a little chiseling with my knife, and then I did a little blowtorch work to smooth it out, make it seem more natural. These little circles that kind of show through on the top, those are getting covered up anyway, so that's why it was okay to use the crappy foam for this project. But what I'm going to do, just to naturalize it a bit, is spread some glue over the surface, just here and there. Wasn't really needed on the steps, but I put some here just to help it blend in. I'll put it much thicker on the top. And of course, the reason I'm going to do that is so my sand will grab hold. I'll just scoop it up when I'm done on the paper. Now that sand will absorb that glue like a sponge, so I'm not going to dump this off just yet. I'll let it sit and soak in as much glue as it's going to. Then I'll come back and put it all back in the cup. And just to spice it up a bit, I've tore off a little bit of cork, this old cork. I just ripped a few pieces off with my fingers, and I'll glue these on the top. I think that'll suffice. Looks like after I go over the sand, once it dries, I go over it with some wet paint, same color I used for the rock. And I just let that blend in like so. I'll do a little highlighting with the rocks later. Alright, so here I'm going to take a lighter color and go over this. Alright, here it is after just 2 colors have been applied, so it looks really good so far. I'll do a little highlighting after this all dries. But that's just 2 colors, so you could actually stop here at this stage if you really wanted to.
But anyway, so your heroes are wandering around, and as you know, there's always the classic ledge. So just wherever they come across the ledge, you can explain it to them, and then when things get nasty, or if you surprise them with it, you just put your ledge down to the side. So in this case, I've left an option for maybe some water flow coming out of there. Maybe it's a cavern going deeper down. Maybe that's to level 2 of the dungeon. And when it's not so obvious, or you don't want there to be an easy passage to the ledge itself, you can just flip it around and use it that way. So it becomes quite the opposite. It's pretty hard to get up there. And with any ledge, who knows what sort of crazy beasts await at the top. But there you go. That's what it looks like at the table.
Remember, keep your books off the table and keep reaching for the dice.